In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to perform a manual 2D to 3D video conversion. This is a more advanced process than the automated 2D to 3D video conversion, and it's recommended that you watch that tutorial first. The first thing I need to do is load the video file that I wish to convert. I can do this by clicking on the Open 2D video file and then selecting the appropriate clip. The video should appear in the left hand panel. I now select Video, 2D to 3D Manual from the drop down menus, and a new window will open with a number of options. Firstly, I need to specify the output file for the 3D result. I click on Save As and I enter the file name. I will default to the standard Windows Media File option, though AVI is an option as well, and overwrite an existing file like so. The depth effect allows you to adjust the amount of separation in the image compared to the number of artifacts that will be generated. Since I'm going to be using highly contrasted depth maps, I'm going to produce quite a conservative output. For the 3D format, the usual range of output formats is available. I'll leave it with parallel. And initially, for the sake of showing what's going on behind the scenes, I'm going to select to use output depth map. This will output the depth map that is used to generate the 3D image rather than the 3D image itself. If so desired, that depth map can then be post-processed using the Make 3D function within 3D Combine to produce the 3D video as a two-step process. The other options are to do with editing the depth map itself. The program will automatically detect when a depth map needs to be presented to the user, and it will either present it as a file by default, or it can present it open in a specified editor. In this instance, I'm going to specify that I wish to edit the depth maps in MS Paint. Finally, to start, I just need to click Execute. I will move this window just out of the way so you can see what's going on, and then click Execute. As you can see, because it's the first frame, the program has identified that I need to specify a depth map. Now I can either draw a depth map using my editor of choice, or load one that I've already prepared, which is what I will do in this instance. As you can see, I've generated a highly contrasted depth map, just showing the relative levels that the objects in the scene are at. I now need to save this over the depth map that the program displayed initially, which will generally be in the output folder of the where you specified to save the video, overwriting the one that the program generated. And then when I close Paint, processing will continue automatically. I need to specify a video compression, so I'll just use the default Windows Media Video 9 codec. As you can see, the program is now following what is happening in the video, and it's warping the depth map to match. So it is keeping the relative objects, in this case the two people, at their correct depths in the scene. There is a certain amount of breakup of the depth map. In general, this isn't that important because it occurs on areas where the pixels aren't that different, and so it doesn't matter that much what depth they are at. That's also the reason why the algorithm struggles. If you wish to produce an entirely professional result, you can select the Edit Every Frame option in the video conversion window. That will present every single one of these depth map frames to you in the editor, and you can clean them up as you so desire. Now that I've illustrated that point, I'm going to cancel the processing. Okay, now that I've shown you how to generate the depth map, I'm going to show you the same procedure again, but we're going to generate a 3D output file. So I'm just going to quickly skip through the procedure that we've already followed. I'm going to specify a different output file this time, but I'll stick with the Windows Media Codec. And I'll select a parallel output format. I will leave output depth map deselected now, and I will select use MS Paint again. Right, now when I click Execute, exactly as before, MS Paint opens. I can select my depth map that I've pre-prepared and save it over the existing file. And I also need to specify a codec once more. Now you can see a significant difference. Rather than a depth map on the right hand side, I now have the right eye view, which is all that's required to generate the 3D video. The program will now step through, warping the depth map, producing the 3D image and saving it to the specified file. This will continue until a keyframe change, which is to say where the program detects it no longer has sufficient information to work out the depth at which the objects are on the scene. So for example, if the scene changes, then the user will be prompted for a new depth map. And then from then on the procedure is exactly the same as before. Just to illustrate it is a 3D video, I will cancel processing and just close the 2D to 3D conversion window and just go to File Preview and just display that as an anaglyph. And as you can see, it's a 3D image. Those of you with 3D glasses can verify that.